How's it going, YouTube, and welcome back to another Poke Rogue video. In today's video we're going to be continuing the run that we started off in yesterday's video. Obviously we unfortunately lost our run that we reached floor number 100 in, but we are once again fronting our run with our Zapdos. Now I do want to try and catch this Vulpix if I can, so I think the best play for us is to attack into the Fomantis and then probably just confusion the Vulpix and see what happens, because Kadabra is the same level as the Vulpix here, so hopefully it doesn't knock it out. It doesn't. That's lovely to see. So we are going to throw a Great Ball here, try and get this Vulpix caught. There we go, lovely stuff, and that's actually really good IVs for us to have on the Vulpix as well. So we're going to go ahead and switch out the Lanoon because, as we said in the previous video, that particular Pokemon doesn't have pickup, so it's not really going to be very useful for us. And finally, we are seeing our Magikarp go into Gyarados, so this is going to become even a better Pokemon for us in the long run, hopefully. So that is lovely to see. But one thing that I do want to kind of address during the course of this particular video is the fact that I haven't really been uploading to my other couple of channels. Obviously I have a TCG channel and I have a hobbies channel here on YouTube, neither of which have really seen too much love, and I know I've spoken about these two channels before. However, with regards to at least the hobbies channel, that is going to be coming on to this particular channel right here. So I'm going to be moving all of my Warhammer stuff and also my cosplay making onto this particular channel. I just feel it's going to be easier for me to go ahead and have two of my own channels plus the joint channel with Ricky over having three separate channels, and obviously the channel with Ricky as well. So we are going to go ahead and put the put all of the hobby stuff, all the stuff that I was going to upload to the hobby channel, onto this channel, and we're also going to keep our TCG channel. Now when it comes to the TCG channel, I do have quite a few ideas on what I want to upload over there, and we will be sitting down and actually recording a bunch of stuff over the next couple of days for that channel as well. So there should hopefully be a decent amount of content coming to that channel, as well as coming to this channel as well, outside of obviously just the usual stuff that we have up here right now, which is of course the Poke Rogue runs. So hopefully, fingers crossed, in maybe a week or two, you might see a shift in content, adding a few bits onto this particular channel, and also there should be a bunch of stuff that also goes over to the TCG channel, or at least gets uploaded to the TCG channel as well. I know I've kind of said this before in terms of getting content on those other channels as well, but I actually have a bit more of an idea of what I want to upload to channels. Plus I recently got into a relationship. I had a chat with my girlfriend, and she essentially said to me, why don't you just put all of your stuff on, or what you would have put onto your hobbies channel, onto your main channel. It will allow you to widen your audience on this channel, as well as then continuing your TCG stuff, really starting your TCG stuff over on the TCG channel. And I looked at her and she said that, I thought, you know what, that is a very good idea. We'll go ahead and get that done. So that is kind of the a little bit of preface I wanted to make at the start of this video in terms of the content that's going to be coming to this channel, and also the content that will also go over to the TCG channel as well. With regards to TCGs, the main one that I play and collect is Yu-Gi-Oh, but there will be more than just that over on the TCG channel. So don't fret, we will be having a decent amount of content coming across both of my personal channels very, very soon, and then we'll also be having some stuff that comes into this channel also. So I'm quite looking forward to being able to bring you guys the additional content that I'm looking to bring to both channels. But regardless, let's go back and focus on this particular run right here. Getting the map is going to be very handy, especially if we want to choose where we want to go ahead and take this particular run. We now have a Nidorino that adds max HP to the Nidorino or the Nidoran, even though we already had. But other than that, the IVs aren't too great, so we're just going to go ahead and skip adding that to our party. But for now, we are doing alright for ourselves. I'm probably going to get rid of the Bill Barrel that I have in my party now that we have Gyarados, because obviously Gyarados is our main type water, so we don't really need to worry too much about keeping that in our party for the time being. We do want to take the Will-O-Wisp. I think we're going to take it over Disable, even though Disable could be quite good against trainers that we run into. I feel like Will-O-Wisp with the burn aspect is going to be very handy indeed. But yeah, I think we're going to get rid of Bibarel once we find a Pokemon that we definitely want to go ahead and take over it. I kind of want to try, if I can, to catch this Ninetales as well. And the reason behind wanting to try and catch the Ninetales here is because if it does have reasonable IVs, I would love to be able to add it to the party over the Vulpix and already have that evolution unlocked. But we'll see if A, we knock out this Ninetales, and B, if it has anything in terms of like better IVs for us. But we'll take Crunch over Tackle. I could have taken it over the Splash, but I thought, you know what, we'll take it over the Tackle instead. We do have the potential to take Recover here, which obviously allows our Kadabra to go ahead and heal itself up. So I think we're going to take it over Teleport, even though Teleport would be a free swap out essentially into a different Pokemon. I just think that it's going to be the worst of the moves that we go ahead and try and obtain or use on that Pokemon. We are going to throw a Rogue Ball onto Ninetales here. That's 2 Rogue Balls and no sort of capture for the Ninetales. I'm just really I'm really afraid that we might knock it out. We are going to knock it out, unfortunately. That's fine. We still have the Vulpix. We still have the Stage 1 evolution, meaning, or the basic evolution, meaning that we can still end up getting the Ninetales regardless. I think we're going to take Brick Break over Rock Smash here. I think Brick Break's just going to be a better move overall for us. But as I said, we still have the Ninetales, not the Ninetales, sorry, the Vulpix to be able to turn into a Ninetales. We're going to take the XP all here for sure. We are coming up against quite a few Vulpix, which is actually quite interesting. We haven't seen this many Vulpix on the Tallgrass stage in a long time. I can't even remember the last time I was actually at Tallgrass, but I don't remember running into this many Vulpix in this kind of situation before. But we are at our first boss for this particular run, and it is a Girafarig, I think is how we pronounce this Pokemon's name. We are going to go ahead and pluck it down to half health, and as we don't actually have this Pokemon, I think we're going to see if... Okay, it instantly broke out the Pokeball there. That's not ideal, but we do have plenty of Pokemon to be able to try and get through this, plus... Okay, we got through it anyway, plus potentially capture it was the next stage of me obviously attempting to continue my sentence there, but regardless, we got through the Girafeg. That's probably the better way of pronouncing that Pokemon's name. We did end up losing the Zapdos, that did end up fainting, but as we've just gone through a boss, we end up getting everything healed anyway. So first and foremost, from our eggs here, we have a Krogunk, which does add a couple of nice IVs to the one we already have. Unfortunately, special attack is still fairly low, but we do have Ice Punch as a egg move there. Next up, talking about Vulpix, we find another Vulpix, which does add attack and defense to the Vulpix we already have, which is lovely to see. Again, I would like to see some like special attack, IVs, and speed, but we will definitely take that. And Ice Beam is a egg move that we would love to be able to use. Next up is a Lillipup. Not really too many IVs to shout about there. Close Combat, though, is quite a nice move to start off runs with. Paris is our next Pokemon, and that's a bit more like it. Those are kind of IVs I like to see, adding a lot of speed. The defense is quite nice as well. The only thing that didn't really get anything at all is attack. Special defense is already quite nice to see at 20. Could obviously be higher, but we do get Crab Hammer as the egg move for Paris. Next up, we have a female Nidoran, which we actually gain some speed on, so that's lovely to see. And our final egg here is an unknown. Okay, not too bad. Again, speed could be a lot better, but attack and defense buffs to our unknowns is lovely to always take. So we do have forest or cave as our possible options here, but I'm going to go with cave. I think that Gyarados will be able to get through cave quite nicely. Plus, it does give us a bunch of Pokemon that we basically haven't seen before, so that's always lovely to see. We'll go ahead and hit Waterfall here on Diggersby because it is going to be affected, like super affected by it, so Gyarados will be able to take that down fairly easily. Rain Dance, I think I'll take just to get rid of Splash for the time being. Obviously, it does summon Heavy Rain, powering up Water-type moves, which is lovely to see for a Gyarados, which is a water-based Pokemon. It also has Flying as well, which I never quite understood with Gyarados, but we will take Rain Dance regardless. Zapdos now up to 31, and all of the rest of our Pokemon seem to be gaining levels as well, so that's always lovely to see. I don't actually know what level the Vulpix ends up evolving, but we will end up getting a Ninetales at some point. Aerial Ace can go onto Zapdos, which I think would be a lovely move for Zapdos to have. So with Aerial Ace, its power is 60, it never misses, whereas obviously Pluck has an accuracy of 100, but it can still miss. So I think we definitely take Aerial Ace over Pluck here, keeping a lot of different moves on the Zapdos just to have a bit more coverage. Next up is a Graveler. Once again, we are going to go ahead and hit a Waterfall, super effective against a Graveler, so that was always lovely to see in terms of the typing matchup for us. It's another reason why we went, I can't even get my words out, why we came to the cave, just so we're able to go ahead and try and get through it fairly swiftly with Gyarados. Do I want Crunch? I think I do want Crunch, so I'm going to take it over Headbutt. Headbutt's probably the worst move we have on our Bibarel, but as I said with Bibarel, we will probably end up swapping that out at some point, now that we do have the Gyarados. So we have Giga Drain, which I think is going to be better than probably like Absorb. So we are going to take it over Absorb. A lot of our Fungus moves are moves that heals the Fungus upon using them, which is always nice to see. But right now we haven't really had any kind of need for using that particular Pokemon. Vulpix wants to learn Extra Sensory, and I don't actually know what this does. So it attacks with an odd unseeable power, may also make it flinch. That's actually not a bad move to have. I think we are going to use Spite, lose Spite for it even. Obviously, Spite is quite nice in terms of making a Pokemon lose its PP on a move, but I feel like the move that we just put on, which I cannot remember for the life of me what it is probably a better situation for us, and we are going to start putting any of the rare candies we get onto Vulpix to try and get it into the evolution of Ninetales as much or as quick as we possibly can. Right now I'm not really seeing any Pokemon in the cave that I want to go ahead and catch, which is why I'm just using Waterfall to get through most of the Pokemon here. So Parasect is the first Pokemon that we've seen that isn't a ground or rock type, so I am going to swap into the Zapdos here, because our Gyarados can pretty much be hit, maybe even one-shot by Parasect. So bringing in the Zapdos to be super effective with its Aerial Ace is definitely the way to go, considering we don't have any flying type moves yet on the Gyarados, and I don't know if we will either. So Psyshock, I think we take this over Psybeam maybe. Actually no, we'll take it over Confusion, because Psybeam can still add a Confusion to any Pokemon that we are up against using that particular attack. So we will swap out something different right here. Definitely taking the XP all, meaning that we can get as much XP as we possibly can onto the rest of our Pokemon. And I am going to see if I can catch this Hariyama, which we can. Lovely. The IVs aren't good enough for me personally to take this particular Pokemon for this run, plus we've already got our Zapdos with fighting type moves, but at least adds some IVs for us in terms of the Pokemon that we have available to us as starters. So we'll go ahead and gain obviously all of that XP on Zapdos. Everything else should be gaining XP. Aqua Tail might actually be a move that's worth taking, maybe over like Bite, for example. 90 and 90. Obviously, Waterfall's 80, but I would like to try and keep hold of that. So I think we're going to take out Bite for now and have a decent amount of Water-type moves on our Gyarados for sure. Everything else is also gaining levels, which is lovely to see. Flamethrower is definitely something that we want on our Vulpix, and I think we take it over Incinerate. We don't lose any PP in terms of like how much PP the move has, but it's a lot more in the base power side of things. I'm going to take the Great Ball here. Diggersby, again, not really a Pokemon that we're looking to try and capture, so we'll go into Gyarados and go straight into a Waterfall just to get through Diggersby. So I'm hoping for this particular run that A, we can catch a few more Pokemon that we know we're potentially going to use, and B, we can try and get back up to floor 100. So Drill Peck is something that our Zapdos wants to learn, but I think even though it's better in terms of power, in fact, I don't think I'm ever really going to use Light Screen, so I think we get rid of Light Screen and we'll take the Drill Peck here, because I don't want to be using all of the PP of one move, need a Flying type move for certain Pokemon, and not have it available for us. So we'll go ahead and just add another one to our Zapdos. XP balance all day long here gives it to the Pokemon with the least amount of XP, or least levels, something along those lines. But regardless, we're definitely going to be using our Gyarados against the Doug trio here, or at least against this particular hiker. Solely because a lot of his Pokemon should be ground type, a lot of the Pokemon could also be rock type, meaning that Gyarados should just be able to sweep this trainer fairly easily. Do we want to add Takedown to the Bibarel? Don't think we do, actually. As I said, we'll probably end up swapping out that Pokemon at some point anyway, but for now, we'll keep hold of that particular move. I don't actually know what Ingrain does. My memory does not recall. Restores HP on every turn, and the Pokemons can't switch out, so I think this is definitely worth taking here. Stun Spore's nice for obviously paralysis. I think we take it over Mega Drain because we've already got Giga Drain, so I'm definitely going to take Ingrain instead. We next have a Whiscash, which might not be like obviously super affected by the water type moves, so we'll just go with Aqua Tail to hit that particular Pokemon. And we have one more. Oh, Dragon Dance I think would definitely be something we want to take here. It raises attack and also speed. The Dark type moves only good against Ghost and Psychic. We do have Aqua Tail and Waterfall, so I think we get rid of Crunch here just to take Dragon Dance, because that is going to be very handy for us for attack and also speed boosts on our Gyarados. Psychic here, what do we want to take Psychic over? Probably Psybeam, right? Yeah, over Psybeam. And we'll take Psychic, so that would be quite nice to have. Obviously, Fighting and Poison are what the Psychic moves are going to be very handy against. So if you go into something like the Dojo, we'll be able to use the Kadabra to get through that fairly swiftly. Last but not least is a Doug Trio, so we are going to go ahead and just Aqua Tail that. Gyarados is unfortunately poisoned, but we've only got 3 more floors before the Gyarados can be healed without having to use any of the money that we're accumulating right now. Getting a decent chunk of levels on everything else. Toxic would actually be quite nice to see, I think, especially as everything's already, like, everything we've got right now is grass. I'm going to take it over Synthesis because we've got so many healing moves on the Fungoose anyway, that I feel like it's going to be worth us taking the Poison type move. We're going to potion up our Gyarados a couple of times here, and then we will take the Rogue Balls. Okay, so Noibat's the next Pokemon out, so I think for this, I was about to say I might want to catch it. I wasn't expecting Gyarados to knock out there, but it did. So unfortunately, we won't be getting a Noibat in this run. Definitely taking the Ability Charm for sure. Carbink, do we want Carbink? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if I want this Pokemon. We'll go with a Waterfall. So we actually have the ability here to potentially catch this Pokemon. I am going to throw a Great Ball, and we do end up getting it. That's lovely to see, because I'm actually going to take it over the Bilbarrel. As I said, Bilbarrel's not really needed too much now, considering Gyarados does have all of the water type moves that we want. I think we'll go for a Super Potion on the Gyarados, and then I'm also going to take the Calcium, and I'm also going to put that on Gyarados, I think. So Loudred is the next Pokemon in, which means Zapdos is going to be able to get rid of that fairly easily with a couple of aerial aces. We could try and catch it, I suppose, but I'm not going to be using it in this run, I don't think. So I'm just going to go ahead and knock it out. There's not really too much need for me to catch that Pokemon right now. It's a normal type. It's not really going to be too great for us, I don't feel. But we do have Badlands or Lake here, so it's essentially going to be a lot of water-based Pokemon, or something I don't think we've actually been to yet. So I think we take Badlands here. It's a location that we haven't been to yet, so definitely going to be Badlands that we want to take, or at least go to. We will keep the Zapdos out for the Q-Fan, because we can go with our Brick Break to be able to knock that out fairly easily. So what is next up? Carbink wants to learn a Rock Slide. I think we take that. I'm not sure, actually. Speed stat boost is always nice to see. Ancient Power's nice as well. I think we take it over Flail. I think it's definitely going to be taken over Flail here. We'll take the X Special Defense. Ooh, Onix is like not a bad Pokemon. Not a bad Pokemon at all. I just hope that we don't, I was about to say, I hope we don't lose our Zapdos to it. I was contemplating going in with a couple of like flying type moves, a couple of aerial aces there to chunk it down and then potentially catch it, but then I thought, I just don't think it's worth us doing that. So we're going to take the Rare Candy there. Vulpix wants to learn Fire Spin, which, it's not too bad, because it actually hurts like every single turn. I think we take it over Confuse Ray. As nice as Confuse Ray is, I just think it's definitely worth us taking it over Confuse Ray. We'll send out the Gyarados for the Dug Trio here, just so we can go ahead and hit Waterfall and get rid of that fairly easily. What is going to be on floor number 54 is the next question. Oh, Fungoose is evolving. So we do have a Among Us now, which is lovely to see. Obviously, we now have a Sandstorm to worry about. Once again, we'll go with a Waterfall to get rid of the Dug Trio. I'm pretty sure this Sandstorm stays around for a little while. We definitely want to take Hydro Pump. I think we take it over the Aqua Tail here. Or do we take it over? No, we'll take it over. Yeah, we'll take it over Aqua Tail. Hydro Pump is one of those lovely moves to actually have. Do I want Quick Guard on the Zapdos? Probably not, actually. Even though Quick Guard is quite nice if you think a Pokemon's going to have something that's going to go like first, like Extreme Speed, Quick Attack, that kind of thing. But I feel like keeping the moves we have on Zapdos is the best play. Roleplay copies the target's ability. I don't know if I will ever actually end up using it though. And I think I'm quite happy with the Psychic type moves I have on Kadabra for now. So we will leave Roleplay for the time being. And yeah, I can't remember the evolution stage for the Vulpix, but we do have a rival battle against Ivy here. So out comes a Blaziken. Gyarados will be a lovely Pokemon to go into that. Unfortunately, Ivy does swap out into a Frigibax, but it does end up getting knocked out, so that's lovely to see. Next Pokemon for Ivy. What are you going to send out for us to fight against here, Ivy? Skill swap. I don't think I want on the Carbink, because obviously it swaps abilities. But I think I'm quite happy with what I have for now. If I start getting some decent, what am I trying to say? If I start getting some decent, I don't want this Pokemon to go down. I don't want Gyarados to go down, so I think I'm going to send out Kadabra. And it's probably just going to be a bit of a, I was about to say, a bit of a Pokemon that may end up being sacrificial. In fact, no, Kadabra does get through Corviknight, which is lovely to see. It probably will, unfortunately, be knocked out like in the next Pokemon that Ivy sends out. But I'd rather get Kadabra knocked out than anything else. Okay, so that's quite good for double battles, but we're trying to avoid as many double battles as possible, so we're not going to worry about taking Rage Powder. Next up is a Stunfisk, so I think I'm going to keep the Kadabra out, just so Stunfisk can go ahead and potentially knock it out, but it ends up not doing so. I completely forgot we had Recover, if I'm perfectly honest. Flash Cannon doesn't do a lot to us, but it does knock out with a crit, which is fine. We'll send out the Zapdos here just to go into Aerial Ace and knock out the Stunfisk. So as I said, Kadabra is always going to be one of those Pokemon that we're like, okay, we'll just let you kind of sacrifice yourself. Even though we used a few recovers to keep it out a little bit longer, I feel it was a good thing for us to do. We do have Blaziken here, which we can actually Aerial Ace into. So we actually have two counters to the Blaziken on Ivy's team. We have Zapdos and we have Gyarados. So both of those will be able to get through the Blaziken fairly easily. Hurricane would definitely be a nice move to take. But what would he take it over? Because I kind of want to keep Waterfall and Hydro Pump. I think it's going to be Rain Dance. I think I want to keep hold of Dragon Dance for sure. So yeah, Rain Dance is going to definitely be the one that goes. Even though it helps with the Water-type moves, Gyarados' Water-type moves are pretty good anyway for the most part, in my personal opinion. Can't use Safeguard because it's not implemented, but regardless of that, we get through Ivy fairly easily. We only lose the Kadabra, which isn't obviously ideal, but it is what it is. So a few more eggs to hatch here. First and foremost, we have a Stone Journer, which has incredibly good IVs. And it has Helping Hand as an egg move, which is not too bad against, obviously, like double battles and trainer battles, not like double battles in general. Ironically, we get another Carbink, does add some IVs to the Carbink that we can use at the start of runs. Unfortunately, though, the special attack is fairly low. Isn't ideal, but it is what it is. Right here, I think we definitely want to Super Potion the Gyarados at least once. And then we'll gain our money back by using the Nugget. So we are going to swap into the Gyarados here against the Camerupt, and we will Waterfall to get through that fairly swiftly. And we only have 4 more floors to get through the Badlands area. Thunderous Kick, I think we will definitely take. Brick Break is probably what we get rid of here, right? Yeah, we'll take Brick Break off and put Thunderous Kick on, just to try and keep our Zapdos' coverage fairly good. Even though Zapdos has been like a carry for us for the last couple of runs we've been on, so it is quite nice to keep it. Keep it going even. I think we take... do we take this over like maybe Rock Slide? I think we take it over Rock Slide. Take Power Gem over Rock Slide there. Ooh, Dazzling Gleam is a Fairy type move, which can actually go onto our Carbink. It'll be the first Fairy type move that we have on our Carbink. But I think we take it over a Light Screen. Even though Light Screen is quite nice to have, it's, in my opinion, a lot better in a double battle setting. Unfortunately, we do end up missing our first Waterfall there, but we do get through Dugtrio fairly easily with Gyarados in the next Waterfall click, so that's fine. So I think right here we'll get to floor 60 and then we'll call this a video. So we are going to go ahead and take the potion just to pop that onto Gyarados. Marowak is one of my favorite Pokemon like ever. Not even just in Gen 1, but just one of my most favorite Pokemon ever. I'm gonna have Rogue Ball, I think, just to be on the safe side. The IVs are terrible. That is not what I wanted to see. I was going to be like, oh, if these IVs are really good on Marowak, I'll be taking Marowak, adding him to the party, but those IVs just aren't worth taking it, unfortunately. But it does mean we do have our Cubone, which is nice to see. Right here, once again, we will Super Potion the Gyarados. And I'm also... Actually, I'll Super Potion it twice, actually, thinking about it. And I am going to take a Citrus Berry for it as well, just to be on the safe side. So we have Zapdos and Dugtrio against Rhyhorn and... Sorry, Zapdos and Gyarados against Dugtrio and Rhyhorn. So, I'm not going to swap either of them out. We'll go for a Hydro Pump on the Dugtrio. And against the Rhyhorn, I want a Thunderous Kick. That should get us through these two Pokemon fairly easily. Obviously, Astonish isn't ideal to see. But we will just go ahead and Thunderous Kick and also click on Hydro Pump. Didn't need the Hydro Pump in the end because the Zapdos once again did all the work for us. Thrash is quite interesting to have, but I just don't like the fact that we become confused after using it. So I think we are just going to go ahead and not teach Gyarados Thrash. So do we want the Elixir here? I think we'll take the Elixir. Gyarados has been what we have been using, so we'll apply that to the Gyarados. And we have Gym Leader Clay. I think this is the first time that we may have actually ended up fighting Gym Leader Clay. Excadrill comes out. That was like a bad swap, my dudes. Like, Gyarados is just going to one-shot pretty much your whole team, I would imagine. Solar Beam is definitely something we want. I think we take that over... We're going to take it over Ingrain, I think. Even though Ingrain is quite nice to keep a Pokemon out for us, I just feel like we aren't really going to use that move too much. Inferno, yes, we definitely want to take that. I think we will take Inferno. The only downside with Inferno is the accuracy is 50. But is it worth taking? Probably not, because Flamethrower's power is literally 10 less. Obviously, it leaves it with a burn, but we also have Will-O-Wisp for that exact reason. So I'm not going to worry about Inferno. It is a decent move, but with a 50% accuracy, don't really feel like that's going to be the most ideal. Don't think that's going to be the most ideal. Okay, well, we'll go for a Waterfall instead then. But I don't think it's going to be the most ideal attack to take, basically. We'll go ahead with another Waterfall here. Obviously, Gyarados is poisoned, so it may end up going down in this fight. But as long as Zapdos can finish the job for us, we are through floor 60 here. So Zapdos can come out. We'll go ahead and just Aerial Ace to finish off the Crocodile. And just like that, we are through Gym Leader Clay. And it is the first time we fight against him, so we get the Egg Voucher Plus, meaning we do have the lovely benefit of getting 5 of the eggs. I'm going to go ahead and go into the mountain here, I think. I think that would be the play for the start of the next episode. But that is going to do it for this video. But we are going to go ahead and pull 5 eggs out of the Shiny Up machine here. Because I would love to get another shiny. I'm pretty sure we've got an epic shiny egg on this account brewing. I could be wrong, like an epic shiny up egg brewing. I could be wrong, we could have already opened that egg, but I'm almost certain we have a epic egg brewing regardless. But we'll go ahead and save and quit there, and that is going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please be sure to leave a like rating and subscribe to the channel for all the future content that is going to come to this channel. As I said, all my hobby stuff will now come to this particular channel, so there won't be a link for a hobbies channel from myself in the description down below. There will, however, still be a link for the Card Breaking Gamers channel, as well as my TCG channel down there. Also, in the description down below, I'll be leaving links to all my social media. If you want to go and check those out, that'd be greatly appreciated as well. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much everything to talk about and do in this video. So I'll see you in the next one.